Welcome to the Uncle Jim Effect podcast. My name is Dennis DeLoach, and I will be your host today. Thank you, and welcome to episode number 29. And we're going to talk today about coaches and mentors. And that is the secret I have found in my life of the ultra successful. So, the people I know in my life that have been the most successful in any area you pick, they have coaches. First, I want to thank you for being here and taking time out of your valuable day to do this. And please subscribe below and like the podcast. Please refer to your family and friends and share it with them if you like it and if it's creating any value for you. We're located on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. I sure would appreciate if you'd go there and subscribe as well. Okay, the purpose of the Uncle Jim Effect podcast is to create opportunities for more than 1 million people to realize their God-given potential and then to magnify that God-given potential in the service of their family, their friends, and their neighbors. And as we do so, to create a tsunami of hope that starts in our family and ourself and then goes to our family, our neighborhood, communities, and then throughout the world. It will absolutely happen, and you are the driving force behind that. So thank you so much. All right, let's dive into coaches and mentors, and that is the secret to the ultra successful. So I remember in my early career as a professional and as a business owner, as a CEO, as a leader, as a coach, I remember being associated with people that were at the top of their game. They were the most successful people financially. They were people in my area that owned 10, 20 practices and were successful, that were consultants and were successful, that were phenomenally in shape and great athletes that were successful. And the thing I couldn't believe, and it's a shock now to look back on it, but it was true, is that each and every one of them had several things in common. But the one thing was that they all had coaches that they paid money to. They all had mentors that they sought advice from. And they didn't just have one, they would get mentors in areas of their life that these people were experts in, whether it was business or finance or health or physical exercise or running or whatever you can name. And so uh, having a coach and a mentor, the ultra successful people can't get enough of them. But I find people that aren't so successful say, well, I already know how to do that. I already know how to do that. I'll learn on my own. And those are okay. But it's ironic that you do not want to reinvent the wheel. Success leaves clues. And so whenever you see somebody having success in whatever area of life it is, there are clues they're leaving, and you should copy them and do what they do. And I found that out to be true. And so when I saw these people that were all very, very successful, they all had coaches and mentors. And so I've had some phenomenal coaches and mentors in my life. And I'm going to talk about some of those later on. Tom Landry, one of the greatest football coaches of all time. And in fact, he was a coach for the Dallas Cowboys, that helmet there. I've had some questions about that. I hate the Dallas Cowboys. I'm a Raiders fan, and if that's not the definition of loyalty, I don't know what is. But my wife is a world champion martial artist and was at a large karate tournament and actually won the grand champion, where she was the winner of all winners. And that's a signed helmet by Emmitt Smith. And so she made me put that in my office. I have some Raiders gear that's over here somewhere, some hats and stuff. So anyway, I digress. So Tom Landry said this quote, and I love it. A coach is someone who tells you what you don't want to hear, who has you see what you don't want to see, so you can be who you have always known you could be. Isn't that true? They tell you things you don't want to hear. They make you do things you don't want to do, but then they help you realize the person you always knew you could be. And so that's what a coach is. It's not that we all don't know how to do things in life, but we just don't do them. And for us to think that we can do everything and anything at all time and be successful, it's not going to happen. Not going to happen. So what is a coach and what is a mentor? Are they the same? Are they interchangeable? There's a slight difference, and I'm going to tell you, at least to me, what they mean. A coach to me is someone who's focused on improving a specific area of your life that needs improvement, right? So a coach to me is a specific area. For example, a business consultant. We need somebody to come in and organize our business to make us more profitable or whatever that goal is. I want to find a great business coach that's specific for my industry or my need, right? There are some business consultants that are specific to scaling a business from one to many. There are some consultants that are specific on maximizing the efficiency and profitability of your business confined within itself. And there are other coaches that are specific to getting you in shape, right? So a coach is someone who's focused on improving a specific area of performance in your life that needs improvement. And again, these are definitions by me, right? And a mentor is someone who provides general guidance or support, kind of often drawing upon their own experiences and knowledge. And so an example of that is typically as a young person, when you're looking for a mentor, you realize maybe you're just out of college or just starting in an industry, and I don't know what I don't know. I need someone to help me generally say, hey, when you start, here's the basics. Just start doing those things. And as you get down the road further and you get your own experience, you'll realize, oh, wow, I've got to know so many other things. Then you can get a coach to specifically help you in other areas, right? So a mentor is someone who can generally provide general support and guidance, drawing upon their knowledge and experience to help you get started in an area or to guide you where to get started and how to go in the right direction. So, what's the value of a coach? What is the value of a mentor? Why should I spend money? Why should I invest time, energy, and effort into a coach or a mentor, right? So, there's so many advantages. I want to talk about just a few. So, the number one advantage that I've seen in my life of a coach or a mentor is to shorten the learning curve. What do I mean by that? So I could absolutely go out. When I came out of dental school, I was a hard head and I wanted to learn it my way, but I really didn't know. No one had taught me by example. I had never been in a business. My family wasn't really in a business. But as I did that, I realized that it took me, I learned lessons and they were great, but it cost me a lot of money. It cost me a lot of heartache. I made a tremendous amount of mistakes, and it took me years and years and years, if not decades, to learn the principles. So imagine somebody like me that's made all of those mistakes, took 20 years to learn, lost hundreds of thousands of dollars along the way. Imagine if I could come in and help you or someone else and they could shorten that learning curve from 20 years to 2. Is that a value? Of course it is. That's the value of a coach or a mentor. So can I do it on my own? Absolutely. Is your time valuable? I hope so. If it is, shorten the learning curve. That's what a coach will do for you. A coach will also absolutely improve performance. They better. That's their goal, is to improve performance. Take you from here to there. That's the only role of a coach, is to make you better at whatever you want them to help you with. And so improving performance, whether that is weight loss, whether that is the health, whether that is my blood work at the physician's office, my numbers, I'm getting better numbers. My blood pressure is going down. Okay. My business is more profitable. I've increased sales. I've decreased expenses. My EBITDA is better. I can sell my business for more. Anything you can measure, a coach should help you improve that. Accountability. Coaches are directly related to hold you accountable for specific actions in your life or in your business or in your performance that lead to whatever desired results you have. So again, we use that example a lot about losing weight or getting in shape. So if I have a goal of losing 25 pounds to increase uh, my lean mass by a certain amount, a coach is going to hold me accountable. And by that, I mean, I'm going to show up at the gym at a certain time and I am going to do the exercise he says. And I'm going to do a certain number of sets and a certain number of reps. And I'm going to do a certain technique. And I'm going to do it to his satisfaction. And he's going to be there because if I was there on my own, I probably would not do it. So a coach holds you accountable. Coaches also should be assessing your performance honestly and giving you feedback. So a coach will look at you and tell you how to perform, watch you perform, assess how you did, re-coach you, watch you perform, reassess you, coach you again, watch you perform, and the process goes on and on and on. And so that's another big criteria of a coach is they assess performance honestly. And then one of the final ones I've got, and there's a lot of them, you've probably thought of some as well, but discipline. You become more disciplined when you have a coach. And in fact, if we were all perfect in nature on being disciplined, we would probably not need coaches in certain areas. But don't fall into the trap of thinking, I know it all, because don't we all know you don't eat cheesecake and watch TV all day and expect to lose weight? Of course we do. But how many of us do it? And so we need a coach to shorten the learning curve, hold us accountable, assess what we're doing honestly, improve our performance, and then have us be disciplined to follow through and do that. So I want to talk a little bit about some of the coaches that have impacted me in my life. And I specifically want to talk about 5. They've all been in different areas. So the first coach that I had in my life was Chris Pella. He was a linebackers coach at Utah State University, where I went to college and played football on scholarship. And I was fortunate to have him as my coach for all 5 years I was there. One of those years, my first year, was a redshirt year where you do not participate, you just practice. So that's why it was 4 years. Coach Pella taught me some things that have stuck with me every day of my life. I still have the opportunity and great privilege to see him occasionally. He's 81 now and was able to attend my youngest son's wedding this past summer. And I love him, and he's been such a phenomenal example in my life. What he taught me was it's possible to be kind and humble and compassionate, but to perform violently, aggressively, and with passion in whatever it is you choose to do. So I used to take pride in the fact that I was considered a nice guy, and I loved that. I like getting along with people. I am by nature generally an easygoing guy, and but I loved playing football and putting on the helmet because I could attack that in an aggressive, violent, and passionate way. And it's the same thing in things we do in our life, in business. We need to be kind to our team. We need to be considerate and charitable and grateful for those that we work with. But we also need to attack what it is we're doing in a violent, aggressive, and passionate way. And by violent, I mean with our energy. We do not want to beat up our patients. We do not want to beat up our staff. That is a joke, by the way. But whatever we do in life, what I learned from Coach Pella and through the game of football was you can be a kind, humble, compassionate person that has a aggressive, violent, passionate work ethic and will accomplish what you set your mind to do. So see how that fits with you and do that. The next coach that I've had and mentor along the way was Jay Guire. Jay is one of the top consultant in business in the dental and the professional world. Very, very successful. And I've had the opportunity to work with him for about 8 years in a private coaching capacity. And I learned so much from Jay, so much. And what I learned from him were principles of you're either growing or dying. And so growth. I learned from Jay leadership. I learned this honest self assessment and how that works and why it's valuable. We talked about that on the last podcast. I learned about vision and purpose in a business and in your life. I learned about performance and culture. I learned about all of those things, specifically how it relates to a business, but you can take each and every one of those and apply it in your personal life or a family life as well. I also learned something from Jay that I'm probably the most grateful for. And he taught me, he said, there's two things that you can't spend too much money on. Number one is on your health. And number two is on creating memories for your family. And I love that because without that guidance, I would not have focused on that. And so by that, it means that you cannot spend too much money on your health. Hire a personal trainer, get the current medicines, get checkups, take supplements, do those things in life that are sometimes expensive, get massages, do those things that will absolutely make your health and the quality of your life better. Don't skimp on that. Spend whatever it takes. And then when you're creating memories for your family, spend money, do things. And it's not that money creates memories, but putting yourself in a position or a place or a situation, whatever that might be on whatever budget you have, is absolutely critical. And sometimes creating a memory for your family can be packing up a picnic and hiking up a mountain and sitting by a lake. So that's what I learned from Jay. Tom Shea, I've talked about him a lot. 23-year veteran of the Navy SEALs, a leader of the sniper program. Two principles that Tom taught me and that he lives by and that he had me learn was honor the words that come out of your mouth. When you say you're going to do something, do it. And second, never quit, never give up. So if you say you're going to do something and you never quit, you will have a phenomenal life and accomplish anything you want. And he also taught me anything is possible. And that's absolutely true. And I believe that. We talk a lot about that and have taken it to that next step with the 10X concept. My fourth coach and mentor that's affected my life tremendously is Chad Hymas. I've interviewed Chad on this podcast. Chad is a international speaker. Wall Street Journal said he's one of the top 10 most influential people in the world. Chad had an unfortunate accident on his elk ranch and is in a wheelchair and is a quadriplegic. He has about 10% use of his hands. And what Chad taught me was to see the good in life. Don't look at what is bad. Look at what's good. And Chad has a lot to not be grateful for, but he's one of the most humble and grateful men I know. And he strengthens me and drives me and motivates me when I see him, talk to him, and think about him to be a better person and to take advantage of the blessings I've been given and not take anything for granted. He also taught me that there are no excuses, not so much by word, but by action. You know, when you have no use of your body and only about 10% use of your hands, and you push a wheelchair 530 plus miles from Salt Lake City to Las Vegas, Nevada in the summer on the asphalt road, that leaves me with no excuses in my life. And I love him for that. And then finally, as I thought about what a mentor and a coach were, someone who focuses on you improving your performance, someone who provides guidance and support, someone that draws upon their knowledge, someone that wants the best for you. My final mentor is Jesus Christ, because I can't think of a better mentor, of somebody who cares about me, is willing to do anything in their power to make me my best self. I can't think of anyone who loves me more and is more invested and is the biggest cheerleader and coach and is there night and day, 24/7. I can't think of anyone who gives me more grace when I don't do what my coaches tell me to do. And then also, the thing I'm most grateful for is the eternal perspective he gives me in realizing that it's not about gratification today or tomorrow. It's about looking and creating your purpose in life based on the eternal perspective we have on what truly is important in life. I want to tell you, those are the mentors. They've affected me in my life unbelievably. I hope during this time you thought of mentors that you've had. If you have, reach out and tell them thanks. I try to do that on a regular basis with these people, and I know that they don't say much, but I know it makes their day. But reach out and say thanks to those people in your life that have been good coaches and mentors. Get a coach today. Get a coach now. I promise you it'll be the best investment in the world, because the number one investment, it's proven over and over and over again, the number one investment that you can have in this life is to invest in yourself. Get programs that help you, take classes, spend time and effort and energy and study, but spend money and time on yourself, because that will never go away. And I want to leave you with a quote from Oprah Winfrey. And she said, "A mentor is someone who allows you to see the hope inside yourself." That's all they do. We have all the ability, talent, discipline, uh, passion, all of that stuff is in there. All they do is allow us and help us to open the doors to let it come forward. Remember that you have unlimited God-given potential, and that's the point of this podcast. Don't forget it. Remember it always, and strive every day to do that which you know you should be doing. So, coaches, mentors, that's the secret of the ultra successful, and make it your secret today. Share this with your family and friends, and I'm so grateful for you and your time, and we will talk to you soon. Take care.